Every morning I get up and my husband's not there, and I know he's being tortured in an Iranian prison. My kids are crying, they're missing their dad. You know, anniversaries and birthdays or Christmases are passing by without him, and that's painful. When I learned about Saeed's arrest, one of my worst fears happened, and I became a single mom. I felt like I finally connected to the vine, and I was able to abide in Jesus, and I was freed from all fear.
All right, folks, that's Naghmeh Abedini, wife of imprisoned Pastor Saeed Abedini. She joins us once again, and welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, it's always my pleasure, and I feel like it's our duty as Americans, all of us. I have the privilege of having this platform, but I think we all need to do our part to especially, and I'm sure you'll agree here, with the looming deadline of November 24th for some kind of agreement with Iran. I know you're calling for Obama and the U.S. to call for the release of your husband and all political prisoners who are American before any deal is done, correct?
Exactly. How can we trust Iran with any deal when they're holding Americans hostage? How can we even consider making any deals with Iran while they're holding my husband? And so that's my message to our president and to John Kerry, that before any deal is made, Iran should show some kind of good faith effort, try to build some trust, and the small step would be to release the Americans they're holding hostage.
Well, what have your stories been? Have you had any success in reaching out to the State Department or the White House? Have you gotten response back since we talked last, for instance? And that's been a couple of months.
It's been frustrating. There's been a lot of statements, but I really haven't felt like there's any movement in getting him out. I feel like the nuclear, I think, we're so determined to make a deal with Iran that all the other issues, such as my husband and the prisoners Iran's holding, Americans that Iran's holding in prison, is on the back burner. I haven't still had any confirmation that anything's being done to bring him home.
Now, there's an effort underway to send postcards, to sign petitions. Tell everybody out there watching what they could do as we approach not only the deadline, certainly, but Thanksgiving. And, there'd be nothing better than to have your husband home with you for Thanksgiving or at least Christmas. So tell the folks what they could do to try to make this happen.
I'm asking people to, like as you mentioned, the deadline's on November 24th, but even after that, continue to call State Department, call the White House, email also your representatives, senators, congressmen, send postcards. People have been sending postcards to the White House, just saying that, President Obama said a few years ago, no man left behind, don't leave these Americans behind, including my husband, Pastor Saeed, and so reminding this administration that this is important, that these they're not left behind, and that our government's fighting for their release.
What is, I know there's a facebook.com/pray for Pastor Saeed Abedini, correct?
Yes, and also my Facebook is, I update that as well regularly, Naghmeh Abedini, but also Pray for Pastor Saeed is another Facebook that people can get updates on and on what's going on with Saeed.
Talk about your kids. You mentioned them in the video we saw, and I ask you about them all the time. They're getting older every time we speak, obviously. They're beginning to understand more, and I guess that even makes it harder.
It does. When I've been on Newsmax since almost the beginning, and Rebecca was 5, now she's 8, and that's the harder part of the journey. I think there's things I can handle as an adult, but seeing the years go by and those precious years that they're missing with their dad, and just seeing their pain. They look through their albums every night, most nights, and they're falling apart. My son, last week, he came to me and he had a picture of daddy holding him, and he was kissing daddy, and he said, Mommy, look, he's holding me, and we're kissing, I'm kissing his cheek. And it was just I just could see the longing in his eyes, that he wanted that touch, he wanted that feel with daddy. And they're trying desperately to remember him. It's been years.
Sure.
And that's the hardest part of the journey for me as a mom.
Well, Naghmeh, I look forward to the day when we could have you and your husband both sitting there in the house with the kids, one on each lap, and we're talking to all of you here on Newsmax TV. God bless you. Keep up the fight, and we'll talk to you again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care. Naghmeh Abedini, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to say except keep the family and Pastor Saeed Abedini and all the other hostages and prisoners in Iran who are treated so poorly. In the case of Abedini, it's just because he's a Christian. Keep them in your prayers, and don't count on this president demanding his release or anybody else's release. It's not in him. We're coming back. Don't go away.